So we're testing this out. Um, Different mic than usual. Hopefully, I got it worked out. So um, I thought it would be fun to sort of do another actual classic adventure, especially now that we kind of recently went through a couple very much classic inspired games like Shadow Dark. Um, and one time recently, I think I've seen him hold it up before, uh, Matt Colville. And so I thought this would be a really interesting one to go through, since, it's one in his collection and that he proudly displays ownership of. Um, and this seems a little bit interesting. It seems like there's actually two adventures in this module. Trapped in the mysterious Castle Amber, you find yourselves cut off from the world you know. The castle is fraught with peril. Members of the strange Amber family, some insane, some merely deadly, lurk around every corner. Somewhere in the castle is the key to your escape, but can you survive long enough to find it? This module contains reference notes, background information, maps, and exploration keys intended for use with the D&D expert rules. Be sure to look for other D&D modules from TSR, the Game Wizards. And I'm sure you all recognize, like, same as the front, except different art there. Just saying, no, don't read this if you're planning on playing it. If you want to, you know, be surprised by the content. Okay, that's interesting. Um, this module has been designed for a party of 6 to 10 characters. It'll be interesting to see how they've got this balanced. They seem to indicate that you should be able to um, do this with a wide array of levels, well, wide-ish array of levels, um, from third to sixth. Um, as long as, the total levels add up to 30. If the party has a strength of less than 26 levels or more than 34, might wish to adjust the strength of the monsters in this module. either making them smaller and less numerous or larger and more numerous. Each party should have at least one magic user or elf and one cleric. Castle Amber is made up of 9 parts. Some provide wilderness adventures, and some provide dungeon-like adventures. Part 1. This section outlines the scope of the adventure and describes the family of Amber, Amberville. Part 2 details the west wing of the Amber family mansion. Part 3 describes the indoor forest in the central part of the mansion, which is built like a greenhouse. Part 4 is a description of the family chapel. Part 5 describes the plan of the east wing. Part 6 details the dungeon under the mansion. Part 7 is a description of Avignon based on a fantasy world created by the author Clark Ashton Smith. Part 8 describes the tomb of Stephen Amber, Le Tombe Etienne d'Amberville. Part 9 details on the new monsters introduced in this module. During the adventures, should be careful to give the players a reasonable chance for survival. The emphasis is on reasonable. Try to be impartial and fair, but if players persist at taking unreasonable risks, or if bravery turns into foolhardiness, you should make it clear that the characters will die unless they act more intelligently. Everyone should cooperate to make the adventure fun and exciting. When describing monster encounters, you should not describe them only by what they look like. After all, there are 4 other senses as well: smell, sound, taste, feelings of heat, cold, wetness, and so forth. You should try to vary the approach to encounters whenever possible. For example, a party might first hear a monster coming before actually meeting it. Such advance warnings are also a good way to warn a party that an encounter might be too difficult to handle. You should try to avoid letting unplanned wandering monsters ruin the balance of the adventure, making it too tough for the party. The descriptions of each room give only a minimum of detail. You should feel free to add any additional details, such as the dimensions of the room, so long as this does not alter the challenge of the encounter. Additional detail is not necessary, but it may strengthen the atmosphere of the adventure. This module is not designed to be played completely in a single session. A number of sessions will be needed to finish it. If the party tries to complete the entire module without stopping periodically to regain lost hit points and restore spells, they are all quite likely to die. The party has an unknown powerful ally looking after them, Prince Stephen Amber, described in detail in a later section, will send a cloud of amber light to encircle the party at the end of a gaming session. This light will protect the party from all wandering monsters and provides nourishment. The amber light will also restore all lost hit points to wounded characters and allows magic users, elves, and clerks a chance to regain their spells. Time outside the amber light stops while it continues for those within the light. Thus, if characters gain enough experience to reach higher levels, they may train and study between gaming sessions and rise within experience levels. Those characters who gain experience levels may use the abilities gained at the new level the next time they play. In general, you will find that a single part of the module is equal to one gaming session. So that's really kind of wild, um, kind of some of the assumptions that go went into that. It just seems radically different from sort of modern mindset. But that was really interesting. For your convenience, whenever a monster or NPC is described in the text, the game statistics will be listed in parentheses. Yeah, the Amber family do not come from the world where the adventure takes place. Their roots go back many centuries to another world in a different dimension. The world where the Ambers originated is similar to the medieval France of our world. It is a parallel Earth with a history that is similar yet different from our own. The two main differences are magic is real but illegal, and the law is upheld by the Church. This world has not yet progressed beyond medieval technology. The Amber family held estates in the province of Avignon on this alternate Earth. Their original family name was d'Amberville. This family was noted for secretly practicing magic. In their search for power, the d'Ambervilles began to study black magic, especially magic that dealt with certain dark elder gods whose worship was forbidden. When their secret studies became known, d'Amberville family was isn't that redundant because isn't the in d'Ambervilles isn't that basically a the. After a short but bloody war, d'Ambervilles fled through a temporary gateway between dimensions. They were given refuge in Geontry, a country ruled by a council of independent princes, each a powerful magic user. After several generations of living in Geontry, d'Amberville grew so powerful that each new family leader automatically became one of the princes or princesses of Geontry. Is that an L? Galantry? Yeah, yeah, we'll say it's Galantry. That sounds a lot better. They shortened their name to Amber, and all family members learned to speak two languages. You'd think they would have acclimated before most of the generations had passed, but okay. Um, speak two languages, French and the common language of Galantry. I where that's from on. For a century or so, the Ambers were one of the major powers in Galantry. In particular, the seventh and last prince, Stephen Amber, was one of the most powerful magic users in the history of Glantry. Suddenly, however, the entire Amber family and their mansion, Castle Amber, disappeared. They were never seen again, and no one knows for sure what happened to them. In time, the Ambers became legends, the subjects of tales to frighten misbehaving children. Note: the Amber family is not one of Clark Ashton Smith's creations and does not appear in any Avignon stories. Their origin has been traced to Avignon and to aid the continuity of the module and to ease transition in and out of Avignon in the course of the adventure. I have to, well, I probably won't because I already forgot the name of the author between when it was first brought up and now, but I'll have to look that up afterwards. The personalities of the Lost Amber family members set the mood for the adventure. The Ambers are not quite sane. They range from slightly eccentric to completely insane. For the most part, the family is chaotic. While they are proud of their name, they seldom cooperate with each other. Most of their family members believe they can do anything once they set their mind to it. Gamers live magically lengthened lives. They have seen too much and are bored. They seek anything to relieve this boredom. On top of their other traits, the Ambers possess a bizarre sense of humor. It amuses them to watch adventurers battle obstacles which the Amber family members place in their way. The Ambers are equally amused, whether the adventurers succeed or fail. A good spectacle is more important to them than defeating the adventurers. The Ambers tend to be fair out of the belief that a rigged game is too predictable and not much fun. Eccentricity, chaotic individualism, great pride, and a warped sense of humor are the main Amber family traits that you should keep in mind. You should also note that many of the Amber family names, when first encountered, are given in both English and French. For simplicity, you may use the more familiar English names or may add exotic flavor to Castle Amber by using the original French ones. A glossary of names, translations, and pronunciations is given at the end of this module. Start. Your party has been traveling overland to Glantry City, tracking down rumors that one of the princes of Glantry is looking for brave adventurers willing to undertake a special mission for a suitable fee, of course. You were especially eager to receive the commission because the princes of Glantry are noted for their generosity not only with money, but also with magical gifts. Leading a pack mules laden with supplies, you have been following a river that the local inhabitants assured you would lead to Glentree City. Unfortunately, no hired guide was available, and either the directions given you were wrong, or you have taken the wrong fork by mistake. At any rate, you have good reason to suspect that you are lost, and will have to retrace your route tomorrow. The sun is setting, and it is time to make camp. The most defensible campsite is on a nearby hill. The night passes safely, though everyone's sleep is plagued with nightmares. When the sun finally rises, you stare out at a world gone mad. Instead of the hill where you made camp last night, your bedrolls now lie in a foyer of an ornate mansion. A freshly swept carpet graces the floor. The walls are decorated with bright, colorful tapestries. Brass candelabras line the entranceways. They show signs of having been recently polished and are filled with candles. You know, I think I might have actually seen this string. Either that or they just took heavy inspiration from this opening. More frightening is the sudden change from the wilderness to a mansion is the smoky gray mist which surrounds the mansion at a distance of 30 feet. Blocking all sight beyond, no sound penetrates the mist. A mule which accidentally wandered into the mist was quickly lost to sight, though its lead rope was clearly visible at the edge of the mist. When the rope was hauled back in, the dead body of the mule was dragged back into the sunlight. What killed the mule cannot be determined, but it died with a horrible look of pain on its face. The mist advances on the mansion even as the party watches, but luckily it does not enter the foyer. The double doors to the interior swing open into the main hallway by themselves. The gray mist completely surrounds the mansion and covers all of the land beyond. Should the players decide to walk into the mist, on the first run they will begin to choke and suffocate. They will feel disoriented and begin to get nauseous with painful cramps. They will experience nightmarish visions and the pain will grow more intense with each passing round. Every round after that the character remains in the mist, they must save versus poison or suffer 1 to 6 points of damage from the noxious gases. Each character must also save versus spells or become momentarily deranged and flee back to the mansion. The mist does not end. Well, that's kind of interesting that on a fail you flee to safety because I was assuming in the earlier part of the description that um, because you're disoriented in the mist, it's like probably at least 1 in 6 chance that you, in your confusion, head the wrong way. Maybe, maybe two. The gray mist is a device to ensure that the party will enter the mansion. If at all possible, it should not actually kill any characters. While the adventures may be hard and dangerous, by searching all the rooms in the mansion, the party will find the clues that will allow them to cross the mist safely and return to the world where the adventure started. The interior of the castle or chateau is lavish. Does chateau mean castle? I guess I always I never I don't really have a picture of chateau meaning castle in my head. You always think of it more, at least I always think of it more like a countryside villa, um, mansion. Yeah, I guess I've never really thought of chateau as a castle, but it must be. Walls are usually covered with tapestries or wooden paneling. The stone floors are usually covered with carpets or wood parqueting. Square wooden tiles of contrasting color patterns. Rooms are huge and their ceilings are 30 feet or higher. The doors are generally made of heavy reinforced oak planks. Unless they are listed as locked, the doors will open for the party without being forced. The furnishings are ornate and expensive. The predominant style is flashy with extensive gold inlay, intricate carvings, and deep bright colors. The party is likely to encounter wandering monsters throughout Castle Amber, in the land of Avignon, except in the tomb of Stephen Amber. The West Wing, East Wing, Chapel, and Dungeon all use the same wandering monster encounter table. There are separate encounter tables for both the indoor forest and Avignon. The chance the party will encounter a wandering monster is 1 on a d6. The- You should check for an encounter every 2 turns. For the sake of variety, it is suggested that no wandering monster be encountered more than once till they have all been encountered. Well, I'd personally just treat a duplicate then. Well, I think instead of that, I'd probably do it um, no more than once in a no more, you can't do it the same thing twice in a row. If you get a duplicate, I think I just have it be no encounter. Um, but I mean, I think that's just keeping in line with more, yeah, just like these super heavy random encounter uh play. Well, I guess I'd see we'll have to see, how much the actual planned content is. But like having very random encounter heavy uh, adventures is not kind of, I think, what my players would be looking for. So on this encounter table, you might find a doppelganger, hobgoblin servant, Isabel Amber, couple variations of living statue, Lupin, is that the third is that the original some werewolves, tigers. Sure what those are. Magins, the different types of magins. Another amber. Ricosta is another first time. A full servant. Willie and Amber, or some zombies. So, Isabel, quite, wonder, I wonder what level, well, I mean, it's a 6 level spell. Um, yeah, in this edition, seems quite, I mean, I suppose, and it is a singular, well, yeah, that seems quite high. Um, so yeah, uh, if, you've already gotten on her bad side, I guess, she is not someone you'd want to meet. Mary Helen Amber, um, it's like more of a warrior, which is interesting since this is like this all wizard family. But William Amber has slightly lower level looks. It looks like. I mean, yeah, I wonder. That sounds like a quite useful potion for him. Seems like set up for him to be reoccurring. Use that uh, potion of invulnerability and get out. Um, let's see. Oh, yeah, it is a bit longer than I was thinking. So um, I might actually start back up in a bit, so we can look at the West Wing. But yeah, I'm going to end here for right now.